What's going on, guys? Miles here, back again with another video, and today I'm going to be going over the changes to the specialists and weapons in Black Ops 3 in the recent patch, which was yesterday, I believe. Some of these are pretty interesting and significant, so I thought you guys would want to know more about them. So first off, we're going to start the specialists, and first of all, specialist weapons and abilities now charge a reduced rate over time in objective modes, which is pretty interesting, I guess, because previously people would be getting them too fast, and now they've slowed that down a bit, which is probably a good thing overall. You don't want to be getting those specialists too often in game, because that would be really OP and a bit unfair. And they also corrected text descriptions for specialist weapon multi-kills, which unlocked specialist epic, which I'm not too sure what that means. Is the specialist epic that gold specialist? I'm not actually sure at all. So yeah, that was what they've said, but we're moving on to the Outrider. The vision pulse ability recharge speed has been slightly reduced, so it takes a little bit longer to get. I don't really remember that being a problem previously though, and I used the vision pulse quite a bit at a lower level, but hopefully that won't have too big of an impact. But there were a couple of changes to the Nomad. The first, which was they fixed an issue with the unlock requirements for the 9th helmet, which I did not know about, but that's pretty good to see that it's fixed. Rejack ability recharge speed has been slightly increased, which I do not like at all. Why are they buffing rejack? I do not know, but that's a bit of a shame how they've increased the recharge rate for rejack. And finally, hive trigger radius has been slightly reduced, and I guess that's not too big of an issue, but I did not like the hive, and I did find it was a little bit unfair sometimes when it could kill you from quite far away, so it's good to see that that's been reduced. And for the Reaper, the scythe has had its ammo reduced from 200 to 160, which is a 40% difference, and that's quite a lot, but honestly, I don't really recall ever using all of my ammo on the Reaper. It's more sort of running out of time with the Specialist rather than running out of ammo. So I guess that's not going to be too big of an issue, hopefully. I really like the Reaper. So hopefully that Scythe is still good, and I'll be trying that out when I unlock it again. But for the Firebreak, the Heatwave ability recharge speed has been slightly increased, which I guess is a good thing because I've never seen anyone use the Firebreak ability ever. So hopefully that should buff it up quite a bit, and hopefully it'll make it worth using in multiplayer. Now moving on to weapons, there's a general section where long shot distances have been updated for each weapon class. I have heard of long shots being too difficult in this game, so hopefully they reduce the distance slightly for the long shots, but hopefully they'll still take a decent length to sort of get, and it will make getting gold a little bit easier for your weapons. And next up we have fixed an issue where some damage from shotguns was getting reduced with the long barrel, which is a little bit weird, but it's good to see it fixed. They fixed launchers not earning weapon XP for destroying vehicles. I'm not sure if that means UAVs and care package helicopters or actual cars. I'm guessing it means kill streaks, because it'd be really weird if you got XP for destroying cars with your launchers. And finally, the quick draw ADS speeds for the LMGs has been slightly reduced, which once again I don't know much about. I never have used an LMG in this game yet, and I'm going to try one out very soon. But moving on to SMGs, for the VMP, the ADS time has been slightly increased to match the other SMGs, and the hipfire spread has slightly increased to match other SMGs, so it's got a minor nerf. That's not going to be hugely significant, I guess, but it will slightly nerf it and put it on par with the other SMGs, which is good because I think the VMP is a little bit OP right now. And the Pharo has also been nerfed. The close range damage has been slightly reduced, which I think is a bit weird because I didn't actually like the Pharo that much at a long range, and it was good at a short range. So to see it nerfed at a short range is a bit bad. I don't think that will actually be worth using very much now, but I'm not sure how significantly the damage range has been reduced. As for the Razorback, that has been buffed in its damage range, which is really good, and I've been using the Razorback a lot. It was my most used weapon on when I wasn't prestige from when I last checked, and I'm a big fan of it, and that was before the buff, and now it's been increased even more. I mean, buffed even more, so it's great to see that for me. I'm a big fan of that weapon. Moving on to assault rifles, the KN-44 has fixed the ADS view for iron sights when a clan tag or kill counter is on it. I don't really know about that glitch, but I've heard that it did affect the weapon a little bit, and it's good to see that get patched. The XR2 has had hip fire spread increased to match other assault rifles, and a minor tweak to the fire rate. They didn't mention whether the fire rate has been increased or decreased, but I'm going to guess decreased because the XR2 was really, really good a couple of days ago. And for the HVK, they've increased the ability to control recoil, which I'm a big fan of because I used that gun once and I thought the recoil was a bit too crazy on it and I didn't like it. So the fact that they've improved the recoil is good news for me. Moving on to ICR1, they fixed an animation issue which the weapon had when it had the Varix, free optic and suppressor attached. Once again, I haven't heard of these. A lot of these are sort of glitches with the weapon. But moving on to the M8A7, this has been buffed, which is a little strange because I'm pretty sure it was a good weapon. The fire rate has been increased and they fixed an issue with the iron sights with the kill counter once again. So increasing the fire rate of the M8, I'm not too sure like how good the M8 was before this buff because I hadn't unlocked it for ages. But to see it buffed is a little bit strange because I thought it was already a decent weapon, better than average. Moving on to shotguns though, we have the KRM, which has had an increased lethal range, which is good to see because I think shotguns on this game are a little weak and I want to try them, so it's good to see that they've been buffed a little bit. The Haymaker has had the fire rate and damage range slightly reduced. Well, that just countered my last point. The Haymaker's been nerfed slightly, but that was the semi-auto shotgun, so I can see why they reduced the damage for it slightly. But moving on to the Argus, the ADS time has been increased and the close range damage has been increased, which is sort of minor, but the close range damage will be pretty useful, but the ADS time will not be hugely significant because I know a lot of people hip fire with the shotguns, so I'm not going to see that having too much of an effect on the Argus. But next up we have the LMGs. The BRM has had its ADS speed slightly reduced. I guess that means when you're aiming down sights and you're walking backwards and forwards, that's been slightly reduced, which is a little bit weird because I thought LMGs were really slow anyway. But once again, I haven't actually used one, so I wouldn't know. But moving on to the Dingo, it's had increased ability to control recoil, which is good news because I do find that a lot of the guns in this game are hard to control with recoil, and the Dingo has been improved in that regard, so that's pretty good. The Gorgon has received a bunch of changes because I've heard it was really OP a couple of days ago, but the clip size has been reduced from 50 to 40, which is a pretty significant increase, like 20%. But the ADS time has been slowed down, no longer deals extra damage to vehicles without FMJ, it has increased recoil and hip fire spread, so that is quite a lot of changes to the Gorgon. To be fair, minor changes, but like 5 minor changes can equate to sort of a major change in the end. So hopefully that hasn't been nerfed into the ground, but put on par with most of the other guns, because I found the gun balance to be quite good in the beta, and hopefully they haven't sort of messed around with it too much now. And finally we have the 48 Dredge, which has a fixed magazine count on extended mags, which was previously ending on 1 bullet, which is once again a really minor issue, hasn't actually really affected the gun. But they have slightly increased the aim down sights time, which once again, really minor issue, not going to have too much of an effect. But moving on to the pistols, we have the L-Car, which has had its close damage range slightly reduced, which I think is really good because that machine pistol is the free burst, I think, and it was crazy OP, I found. Like, it was outperforming SMGs at a close range sometimes, and I just thought that was a little bit ridiculous. And finally, one piece of equipment, the Thermite, has had a reduced damage rate. It now takes longer to be killed by the Thermite. So that's all we have for the patch notes for the weapons, equipment and specialists. Let me know what you think of all of them. I'm quite happy to see the Razorback buffed, and I'm not sure why they buffed the M8, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 3 videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video.